there are some really excellent buying opportunities that can give us the opportunity to make, a significant return. You can't beat the valuations that we're in right now. It's literally 2008 sort of levels all over again.
This week's special is 1 ounce silver Britannias for only $4.50 over spot. Here at Liberty and Finance, we are licensed brokers with Miles Franklin Precious Metal Investments. We are standing by the inventory, taking orders into the wee hours of the night and on weekends, because preparedness doesn't stop. Call us at 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237. Hey everyone, this is Elijah K. Johnson with Liberty and Finance. And with us today, a new guest, Tony Reda, the CEO and founder and president of Tectonic Metals. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Elijah.
Well, we're having you on today because we'll actually both be at the Rules Symposium, and we really wanted to give our viewers an opportunity to look at your company, and also if they wanted to sign up for the Rules Symposium, there's a link in the description here. It'll be supporting this channel along the way. And that is it coming up just in actually less than 2 weeks, so it'll be very exciting to see you there. I wanted to first get your take on really the market conditions in the metals sector right now. We've seen quite a bit of a downturn. This is kind of, followed along with the downturn in the equities markets, but your perspective on where we are right now, it seems like sentiment is very low. And I guess, what are you seeing out there right now?
Sentiment is very low is a very kind way of putting it right now. It is, it appears to be quite dire and, just not a happy place, so to speak. That being said, I distinctly remember 2008, and it was actually in a conversation I was having with Rick Rule at the Angora Symposium at that time in Vancouver, and he shifted to a sort of an investment thesis that was based on, I'm going to buy companies that have, X amount of time or life in front of them, i.e. cash in the bank, and if they're trading at a premium to cash, at a discount to cash, I should say. That was something that he was, deploying capital in. In 2008, there was a subprime fiasco. Markets collapsed quite quickly, and this time that we're in right now actually reminds me of that. Where companies are trading at huge discounts to where they previously were, ourselves included. Some of them having, say they're trading at 5 cents per share, they have 10 cents in cash. They have perhaps a year or 2 years of capital in front of them. Those kinds of opportunities appeal to Rick. And I remember my previous company, Kamenak, I was pitching him on this concept because we were at about 6.5, 7 cents, and we had 14 cents in cash. And, projects were, we believed, had potential to become something significant. So, while everyone was running for the fields, Rick, kind of schooled in the Benjamin Graham sort of value investing philosophy, decided to actually literally on a call when I was with him, and not telling me this, is I'm going to put a bid to buy some stock. And sure enough, that bid got hit. We're talking about, like, this was September 2008. And then in January 2009, there was a slight re-rating, but come March, our stock that was sitting at 6.5, 7 cents is now sitting at 14 cents in say 4 to 5 months. And then moving into June, July, we're now at 28 cents. I'm not saying that exact same predicament is going to happen, but the same sort of themes are present right now, where there is, the fear index is probably at an all-time high. Things look very dire, but the fundamentals behind a lot of companies, ours included, is quite strong. And I think that's where we need to park the fear and just really look at value and look at, what is the long-term horizon? Are you a believer in, say, gold, for example? Do you believe that the resource space is relevant and will have a place? And if quality management teams has enough capital, can raise the capital to survive those turbulent times, I do think the returns are going to be multiple. This is a classic example. Speaking to Warren Buffett, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when people are greedy, be fearful. And to me, that just resonates on so many levels right now. So I do think the market as a whole, there are some really excellent buying opportunities that can give us the opportunity to make, a significant return. You can't beat the valuations that we're in right now. It's literally 2008 sort of levels all over again.
I think it is very interesting what we're seeing because, correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of what happens when we see a sell-off in the general equities, a lot of investors have margin calls they have to meet, and that just, begets selling and selling and selling regardless of what it is. So it seems like right now we're seeing a lot of selling in the miners, the exploration companies, the metals themselves, even though the fundamentals right now seem better than ever for the resource sector.
Yes. Irrationality, especially rational selling is just all across the board. And you're right about the margin calls. It's a snowball effect, right? You're taking that snowball rolling down the hill before you know it, you're at the bottom of the hill and this thing's massive. So margin calls, whether it's Tesla, Amazon, the broader markets, redemption calls from institutions and funds, more selling pressure. And guess what? We're going into tax law selling as well. That's happening right now. And in Canada, which is where I'm from, it's a big deal, and people do have gains that they need to offset. And why not? In many ways, if you're down X on a stock, you're gonna sell that one. So it's there is a lot of selling pressure, and the buying side of things is just not as strong right now. But like I said, in my sphere, there are people, perhaps such as Rick, that are sitting on capital and slowly deploying it, and it's bottom feeding time right now.
Now, we would like to jump into Tectonic Metals itself, kind of highlighting what you're mentioning. A lot of people are buying right now, and we're even seeing a lot of internal buying in your company you've mentioned. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, we started this company, incorporated in 2017, went public in 2019. So we were self-funded. So when I said we, that's the founders of the company, myself being one of four that founded this company. And we put to the tune of, at that time, about $1 million into this company of our own capital. The projects we actually did the first round of soil sampling, the acquisition cost. And that was done, at very low levels. When we had a company, it was just a shell with the founders. And then, we expanded the team, and then we incubated some projects into it. But we were financing this company at 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, 35 cents. And then we started bringing in some funds as well at the 35-cent level. So where I'm going with this is that right now we're at a 5-cent share price, lower market capitalization than we were when we went public. And so the management team, or the team in general here at Tectonic, we've all been buying in the open market, seeing this as a really fantastic opportunity. And some of our shareholders, Crescat, for example, being one of them, our native partner in Alaska, it's a native corporation, they're our second largest shareholder. They have also been not only buying, but increasing their ownership in our company. So Crescat, for example, has gone from 10% ownership last year at this time, all the way now sitting at 24% ownership on a partially diluted basis in our company. So the team, the supportive shareholders, we all see this as an opportunity to really increase our exposure to the company.
Now, our viewers are very interested in value, and really when it comes to having something real, right? And they're very much concerned about the financial system. So we often turn to, we talk about precious metals, we talk about the resource sector, things that are real, and also the mining sector. Some of our viewers may not be familiar with what an exploration company is. Can you share with our viewers what differentiates a mining company and an exploration company?
Yeah, most definitely. So exploration is sort of the art and the science. It's not just a science. There is a little bit of an art to it as well, and that's the the ability to sort of find the next mine. In our case, perhaps the next gold mine. And so we work predominantly with geologists, and in the mining space, that's the extraction of minerals or ore from the ground. And that's more of an engineering exercise. I would also say a bit of an art there as well. So we're not producing minerals. We're actually finding minerals, discovering them, and then advancing to the point where they have visibility for a mining opportunity, and perhaps a major will step in and acquire that. So we're treasure hunting in the simplest form, as I said earlier. We're out here to find the next mine.
And I think what this reminds me of is when we talk to clients about investing in precious metals, one of the things I always point out is that silver is more volatile than gold and has greater potential upside. And I think in an exploration company, you see that if you pick the right ones, they can have explosive moves to the upside. So can you expand on the potential that Tectonic Metals has?
Yeah. So one of the icons in our industry and mining Hall of Famer, a gentleman by the name of Pierre Lassonde, a billionaire, founded Franco-Nevada. So he came up with this thing called the Lassonde curve, and other types in our industry, Brent Cook, for example, have adapted or tweaked it. But what the Lassonde curve highlighted on there's an X and Y axis, and on this side, we have risk, and then on this side we have return, and then we have risk down at the bottom. So a project from infancy, like from moose pasture, let's just say, never been looked at before, all the way to producing gold, there's various stages that project goes through. And the stage that we're focused on, Tectonic, that is the discovery stage. So that's when you go from, is there something potentially here? It's usually never been drilled before, or maybe has a couple drill holes in the property historically. Now you're looking at it from a different mindset. And then that discovery, that drill intercept, or sometimes it takes like 10 drill intercepts to really expose. Sometimes it takes even more, but to go from interesting to something that has discovery, that now is a bona fide mineral discovery, that's where that explosive growth happens. And our projects are positioned at the discovery stage, where we're just starting to see visibility for something significant. And with all our projects, we have a 3-year business, like a 3-year timeline for the project. So when we acquire, we're already thinking 3 years ahead. Okay, what do we need to do this year to unlock the potential? What do we do next year based on what we know, and then also on previous years' output, and how much capital is it going to take? So we know what we're up against, and those projects which is our sort of sweet spot for our team, is exploration. Yes, we can. Some of our team members have dabbled in production, and we have other sort of other skill sets at the table. But where the true sweet spot or the talent lies is identifying those opportunities that have scale, that have visibility, perhaps from a mining opportunity, and then going ahead and executing, deploying capital, and then potentially making that discovery. The reality is, though, with this model, or in the general exploration space, is that projects 99.5% don't make it. So the quicker you can identify, is this a yay or nay opportunity, and if you can do that not only quickly but cost effectively, that's extremely important. And this is also where sometimes partners come into the fold, where you can mitigate some of the risk by sharing some of the upside with potential partners. So it's not an easy task, but we do like this we do like the challenge, and we have the ability, and we've done this in our previous experiences where we've transformed projects into something significant. So.
And one of the key elements in exploration is that you want to look definitely close to, it really helps when you look close to an existing gold mine. And I know your latest project, the Flat Gold Project, is actually located near a world-class gold deposit. So can you expand on that?
Yeah, most definitely. So this project, it's called the Flat Gold Project, as you mentioned. It is situated 40 kilometers near the Donlin Gold Deposit, which right now stands at 45 million ounces of gold. It's the largest undeveloped open pit gold resource in the world. It's co-owned by Barrick and Nova Gold. And so our philosophy, the coastology is great in many aspects, and yes, we can benefit from that project moving forward into production. But we ask the question quite simply, if this mineral belt has the ability to produce a 45 million ounce gold deposit, is there a possibility that there may be another one lurking in the shadows? And we found something that we feel has that potential, and it's actually not exactly like Donlin. It's related, but it is different, and we actually like the different aspect of it because it appears to be a free milling opportunity. And there's some early or historical metallurgical tests that support that theory. So this year alone, Barrick and NovaGold are spending $60 million at Donlin. And so that's significant because there's no one else really around. This mineral belt's been completely forgotten, but it has the hallmarks for something akin to one of the prolific gold belts in, say, Eastern Canada, Ontario, Quebec, and abroad. We acquired this project late last year, and so we have an exploration program teed up for this year, kicking off in August. We're doing something. The exploration component is, somewhat conventional. We're boots on the ground, soil sampling, rock sampling. We call that sort of ground truthing when the project's been sitting dormant for so long and there's historical showing. So we're going there to validate that. But what we're doing slightly different is that we're actually starting the campaign with metallurgy. And metallurgy is the ability to extract the mineral from the rock. Most companies don't take that approach. Because metallurgy is also one of the key killers, if you will say, for a mineral project. It can cripple a project quite quickly because sometimes if the ability to extract that mineral is costly, depending what's involved, it can make or break a project. And so this is part of our 3-year plan where we look at these opportunities from a mining perspective and we say, okay, let's tackle the biggest hurdles as quickly as possible. I don't want to spend $10, $20 million on a project, which a lot of companies do in our space. And I encourage anyone here listening to this video, when you go at the symposium to visit the other booths, ask them about metallurgy. See what their reaction is. Finding those answers quickly is great because spending $20 million and then figuring out that the metallurgy doesn't work is a complete waste of shareholder capital and management capital and time. So, why not go for the jugular? And that's our approach with this asset. We do feel confident that the metallurgy will come back positive. Again, we do have some historical reports to suggest that, but this is going to be a huge de-risk and just give us the ability to sleep better at night, knowing that the metallurgy is sound. And aside from the metallurgy component, Flat also offers a huge gold and soil footprint, 4 kilometers plus, and there has been historical drilling. The first person to explore this property, or first company, was Fairbanks Gold, which was created and funded by Robert Friedman. He's a well-known billionaire in the space, a good friend of Rick Rule's. So this was in the mid-'80s, and they made a discovery at Fort Knox, which is near a highway. So they focused their time and energy on that. This project got put on a shelf. Another company worked it for a year, Placer Dome, and then a private junior for a couple of years. But the last company to explore this property was 25 years ago. So they left behind a lot of good quality work and drilling that supports a multi-million ounce resource and some metallurgy that suggests this thing could be free milling. And with Donlin kind of, having almost all of its permits except for 2, they're spending $60 million there. It's en route to getting those final permits. It's a really fantastic opportunity to walk into something I believe to be very significant and completely forgotten.
Now, when it comes to 70 Mile as well, can you share with the viewers the value proposition there?
Yeah, so 70 Mile is a 40-kilometer long gold property, again situated in Alaska. What I should have also mentioned about Flat and 70 Mile, again, this is part of our business model of mitigating risk as quickly as possible. They're situated on native-owned land belonging to one of the largest native regional corporations in Alaska. So we work directly with them on their land, and we form full-scale production agreements on early-stage assets. And we do that so we know where the goalposts are. Again, it's about risk management. It's about shareholder and stakeholder alignment on day one. And 70 Mile, similar to Flat, was sitting dormant for 20 years. It's a younger greenstone belt that hasn't really been explored with your typical geological models that you would use for a greenstone belt. Tons of, when I say tons, probably about a dozen zones of mineralization with soils, golden soil anomalies, and also historical drilling, where drilling back in the early 1990s produced gold intercepts up to 185 grams per ton. So we've applied a different geological model. We went and executed and did all the foundational work, and we just launched our first RC drilling campaign at Flat. At 70 Mile, and we're extremely excited to test, test this theory that, the prominent controlling shear zone that's feeding the 185 grams per ton could potentially be something of significance. So we're like on hole 5 right now, and just can't wait to see those results, to see what they uncover. Again, sort of a low cost opportunity that has potential to be quite significant. When anytime you're following up, anytime you're exploring in a greenstone belt is always a fantastic opportunity. Greenstone belts account for 75% of the global gold production out there. And also anytime you're following up 5 grams over 15 in historical drilling, or 185 grams or 1.5 meters, those are tremendous intercepts. And if you can find the source of what's feeding those fluids, it can be at times quite lucrative.
Now, I know Rick Rule has often pointed out that when investing in exploration or mining companies, it's really important to look at the team and do they have a history of success. Can you share with us about your team and the success that you've had in the past with other companies?
Yeah. So, I would, again, encourage people, how do you define success? And, we always gravitate, myself included at times, to the wins. And the wins might be, the big win, or what appears to be the big win. And so allow me to elaborate. So in my case, for example, we did, in our previous company called Kaminak Gold Corporation, we did take a project from never been drilled before. We acquired it in 2009, put the first drill hole into it in 2010. We hit 17 grams over 15 meters in the very first hole. And so that's why I was talking about 2008, Rick stepped up and, things were falling apart. And he said, I'm going to take a bigger position in your company. And, good on him. That investment, we went from 6.5 cents in 2008 to $3 in 2011. And so it was quite an excellent learning opportunity, and also an exciting opportunity to see a project go from moose pasture to 5 million ounces in 2016. And we sold that company to Goldcorp for $520 million. So that is a great success, no doubt. But what I also, when I look at successes, I also see the ability to survive the storms or the downfalls. The 2008 crash, those were dire times. 2013, where gold dropped $400 in one day. Our share price got decimated from $3 all the way back down to 65 cents. Our market capitalization went from 300 million right down to 60 million. So I ask people, when I look at companies, I want to test, when things are great, it's easier to shine. But, when you hit on your first drill, yeah, you look good, you look smart. But, show me that you look smart when you're 6 cents, and you got nothing, you got a couple of exploration projects and some dirt and whatever else. That's true success. So our team is, was involved in that, but we've all survived the storms. And what I would also say is our team, which is important to an exploration company, do you have the ability, what's your First Nation or your native relations like? What are you doing for the environment? Have you looked at that? Have you assessed the risk on that side? Our chair is a female that is an environmental biologist by trade. And so that's different, that's unique, but she's also been involved in the permitting of 9 mines in Northern Canada. And when I say involved, it's not just representing, companies like ours, but she's also represented the Indigenous side or the Native side or the First Nation side of things. She's also worked for the government in a regulatory role, seeing projects through from permitting into production. So success our team has is, yes, we can find stuff, 5 million ounces just being one of the examples. Our other board members have been involved in other discoveries. Do we have the ability to raise capital? Well, in that previous experience, we raised 165 million, but collectively our board has probably raised over $500 million. Do we have the ability to permit things? Well, yes, I just mentioned our chair. Do we have the ability to build relationships with the local communities and village? And yes, we have that as well. So we're quite blessed with a diverse team that's multifaceted, and I believe ticks all the boxes. And at the end of the day, we're also huge owners in our company. I think we're sitting at about 15% ownership collectively, and we've all cut checks from much higher levels to the current share price where we're trading at. So we're fully vested and all in. And at the end of the day, what I can say about the management team and myself more specifically is that I only work for one company. I don't wear 5 different hats, which some people do, and I applaud them if they can pull off 5 things at 100%. But all my time and energy goes into this company, and I'm here for the long haul. So there's no if this ship sinks, I'm sinking with it.
All right. Well, Tony, we really appreciate your time today. If our viewers are interested in learning more and actually talking to you personally, they'll be able to see you at the Rules Symposium that's just coming up, like I said at the beginning of this interview, in less than 2 weeks. Registration is still open. Link in the description to get registered and support this channel along the way. Any last thoughts to prospective investors who are interested in learning more and possibly meeting you at the conference?
I love interacting with people. I think when people ask me, what do I love about the mining or exploration space? It really is the people. And the people are the only real asset. Projects are liabilities for the most part. But the team, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of what industry you are in, they're the ultimate driver for value. And take the opportunity at the conference to come meet with all the exhibitors, all the companies. It's the benefit of being in person. And if you're not at the conference, I still would encourage you to reach out and get to know management. It's one of the benefits of working in such a with a small company. You can't go meet, or maybe you can, depending on who you are. You can Elon Musk or Bill Gates. These large multi-billion-dollar companies, you don't typically get to meet the CEO. And so in our space, the benefit is you can actually see, or meet the person that's, what are they doing with your capital, before you decide to invest in it. So, I encourage you to take the time and get to know all of us at the conference.
All right, Tony Reda, thank you so much for your time, and God bless.
Thank you.
Miles Franklin Precious Metals is one of America's oldest and most trusted bullion dealers. Miles Franklin is A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, licensed and bonded, and has 0 complaints ever registered. Here at Liberty and Finance, we are licensed brokers with Miles Franklin. To order, simply call us, discuss your needs, and we will let you know our live inventory, prices, and availability, and lock in your order over the phone. Once your order is locked, the price is held for you regardless of market fluctuations, and the metals are reserved for you awaiting your settled payment. Within 1 business day of ordering, you will receive an email invoice detailing the order and payment instructions. Miles Franklin accepts payments by bank wire, ACH or electronic check, money order, check mailed priority mail, and cryptocurrency. The fastest forms of payment are bank wire and cryptocurrency. Upon settled payment, metals will ship out within 3 to 5 business days. you will receive tracking information via email. Domestic shipping charges are $15 for any order under 500 ounces of silver or 10 ounces of gold. For orders larger than that, domestic shipping is free. The package will be double boxed, fully insured, and labeled discreetly, with no indication of the contents inside. For your privacy, the name Miles Franklin will not even be on the package. To talk to myself, Elijah, my brother Kaiser, or my father Dunnigan, call 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237.